Hi, my name is Sean. I'm a pinsetter mechanic and certified to work on Brunswick A2, and jetback pinsetters. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to take apart, clean, put back together, and put back into a machine the turret clutch, aka the time delay assembly. And so let's get started. So the tools you're going to need are a 1 1/8 inch wrench and a 1 1/16 wrench. So today we're going to be working on 18. So first thing we're going to do is turn it off. Next, you're going to have a spring right in here, and you're going to take that off. That way there's tension relieved off of the long turret belt. And I also forgot, you're also going to need a 3/16 Allen wrench. Okay, so we're gonna have to get this to 270, setting new pins, so that way we have plenty of room to work in there. So we're gonna lock the pin gate, second ball cycle. Turn your breaker off, unplug it. When I'm working on these, I like to get the basket to a spot where it's between two pins, so you have plenty of room to access the nut. You're gonna take off this bottom protector, and depending on how your center is, you'll have 2 or 4. We usually only keep 2 crisscross from each other, and that's enough for it to stay in just like that anyways. With the bottom protector off, we are going to go and sneak these belts off. So it's going to be the 1 1/8 on top and 1 1/16 on the bottom. Now these are reverse threaded, so make sure that you remember that when you're taking these apart and putting them back together. I have forgot plenty of times, so something to keep in the back of your head. Alright. Yeah, those are pretty shiny, so that could be clean there. Bunch of buildup in there that could be cleaned out. Plates seem pretty alright. And that is exactly why this isn't turning. So I found out that the reason why these don't turn a lot of the time, like if you're ever having it to where it drops the pin, but the basket doesn't rotate over afterwards, and then it comes to find out that it's normally your gear not turning. And what I found out a lot of the time is because there's gunk and a bunch of other buildup in the on this little brass bearing here and this plate to hold the spring. So because of all that shit, it's pretty nasty and it doesn't want to turn. So that's why we're going to take this apart, clean it for that exact reason. So sometimes you can sneak that pulley out the bottom. A lot of the other times you're gonna have to take the long link off. But if you don't have to take it off, then that's a win. Carpet stuck in there. So we might clean in here too while we're at it. But this whole thing is nasty and needs to be cleaned. Okay, so we're going to take off the torsion latch and the gear. To do that, we're going to need a 1/2 inch for the torsion latch. Okay. Normally, there's not this washer in here, but evidently this one's in here for a reason. So, and this is also a washer to the rake shock. So for the gear, you're gonna need a 3/4 on the top and a 1/2 on the bottom. So now that we have everything apart, we'll go through and start cleaning. So when you're cleaning the pulley for the top, I like to take Scotch-Brite and to kind of get rid of the shininess that's here on the surface that contacts the friction disc. So to do the same thing with the friction plates that I do with the pulley, just run Scotch-Brite over it, try to get rid of some of the top layer that's on here, so that way it's not all smooth and stuff, so that way it actually grabs. Alright, here is here's the issue. So all that nasty shit. Alright, so now with everything clean, we're gonna put it back in the machine. We are going to clean some of this out because that is awful. Not perfect, but it's better. So we're gonna roll with that. Okay. First thing we're gonna put in is the plate. Okay. Put it in with the taller side up. And it's kind of tricky sometimes to get the slides to go in. So if you fight it for a bit, I don't know if it's normal, but it's been normal for me. Torsion latch has this little pin right here. Okay, and there's a hole in the plate that it's supposed to match up to. You will definitely know when it's in the hole. So I switched to a 1/2-inch socket to be able to get up in here. Okay, now we're going to put the gear in. Okay. Uh-oh. Now that I've fished my socket out of there, now it's time to put this bottom pulley on. Alright. So now you go put the spring in with the retainer. Retainer has these roll pins. There is holes on the plate for those roll pins to go into. Alright, now this part can get a little tricky because you got to match up the holes in the roll pins for both of it, match up the gear at the same time. Okay, there we go. So now try and slide the pulley on top of it with keeping it compressed. And then remember, the nut is reverse threaded. All right, got it that time. Now that this is together, we're going to put this spring on, which you just put the spring there. If you have tension, you're good to go. Okay, so then we're going to sneak this long turret belt pulley on. Okay, and then with the short turret belt, what I usually do is find the notch in the cam, go over that part first, and then go ahead and put the rest of it on. Okay. Now before we put that bottom protector on, we're going to run it through and make sure that it's actually doing what it's supposed to first. Before we can run it, we gotta make sure that we get the rest of the long turret belt on. So we'll put it around this pulley and back, and then go ahead and put on your spring. And then make sure you double check everything with your pulleys, especially the front one, because I've had it plenty of times get caught between the turret frame and the pulley, and that sucks to try and get out. All right. We're gonna run it through again to make sure. Okay. So now we'll put the bottom protector plate on and then run it back up, recheck it, but I think that was the that was the issue, and that fixed it. All right, one more time, and I think we should be good. All right, it works, does exactly what it's supposed to. Now, again, the reason we did this was because what would happen was the 5-pin would drop, all the pins would go to the deck, but it'd stay right there on that 5-pin with the cross conveyor. It would not rotate over. Now, as you saw, the bronze bearing in the friction plate was covered in a whole bunch of gunk and nasty stuff, and so was the spring retainer that it is supposed to ride on. Now, because those two were both sticky, they were sticking together and not allowing the pulley to turn the friction disc, to turn the gear, to rotate over to the next spot. So now that those are clean, it does exactly what it's supposed to. I hope this has helped you understand how to take out, take apart, clean, and put the turret clutch back together. And if there's any questions whatsoever, please let me know, and I am more than happy to answer anything that you have. And so that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.